welcome back to Ocean. Please don't mind my hair and everything right now. I'm doing a get ready with me while doing a chit chat talk about anxiety and how I just was inspired to make this video because I was watching this other YouTuber. I'm fairly new to her channel, but all her videos just resonated with me so much, and I feel like those videos were specifically put on like my suggested because of like the mental health stuff that I'm dealing with right now. So and I have my makeup box and I have my mirror right here, so I'm going to be doing my makeup and my hair and getting ready for my friend's grad party while I talk to you guys. But like a year ago, I was finally diagnosed with PTSD, major depressive disorder, and not like finally like it's good, it's like finally like an explanation and I'm not just like going crazy in my head. So PTSD, major depressive disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder, and OCD. So I really haven't talked to that many people about OCD because I feel like now in today's world, like if I talk about the diagnosis, people are going to be like, oh, everyone's diagnosing themselves with everything, blah, 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 but I'm truly not. I've actually dealt with it like my whole life to the point where like in some situations, like I have issues starting my car, walking in certain places, in like my choice of shoes and like just stuff that I pick because I deal with OCD. And I'm currently taking medication and in therapy for it right now, but one of the biggest things that I deal with is definitely more so anxiety over depression. Like I definitely have my depressive moments like pretty often, but I'm trying to get better about that because I'm trying to stop living so much in my head. So the YouTuber I was watching, I'll put a screenshot of her channel because you guys should honestly go and watch her. Like she's really doing her job for real. So I wanted to talk about anxiety and God and how over winter break, because now we're in it's the summer now, and I usually stay in my dorm over the summer, and I graduate this December, just not this May but this December, so that's coming up next semester. But I read this book on, and I don't even know what it was called. I have it somewhere in here, but it was basically talking about it's a book on managing anxiety and fear, right? And it just reminded me of the book that I was reading because in her video, she was talking about like how an aspect of anxiety can be trying to play God. And I was like, you know what? That's a word. And with my anxiety, like sometimes it's so bad that I cannot go to sleep. I have to do certain things for me to actually go to sleep at night because I'm always thinking about the next thing. I'm thinking about the next few months ahead. And it kind of makes me have like an ungrateful view in a way. And not like, I'm not like really, really ungrateful, but just ungrateful for like living and experiences and stuff because I'm always in my head. And it makes me feel like I'm missing out on moments that can mean a lot more. And I'm just having like the biggest like revolution, I don't know, just the biggest thoughts right now. Because honestly, I was having a pretty tough morning. And another thing that I want to talk about is blaming myself for things that I cannot control. And the reason why I was having such a tough morning because I've talked to you guys a few times before about how I have a few chronic illnesses that ultimately I cannot control. I have endometriosis pretty down packed, but I also have another one that I deal with that I have not really found a solution to, and I don't feel like science is as advanced right now to deal with it, but usually I carry the burden of it and I will just sit in tears and blame myself for it. But to make myself feel better, you know, this morning I ordered some food. I'm taking time to get cute for my friend's grad party. And I just had to remind myself that I have to stop blaming myself for things I cannot control. I feel like that's a common thing for people with chronic illnesses. You tend to blame yourself, but I just want to remind you that it's not your fault. Like you had no say in how you were made. It's not your fault. But one of the things that I really want to practice doing better this summer is living more in the moment and seeing the great things in the moment, because I've had a lot of good experiences this school year, but sometimes my negative Nancy mind can migrate to worse things. And it's like, dang, like I had a lot of good things happen this year, this school year in general. Like not too long ago, I got my first car. I had my first college art exhibition. Like the previous year I had applied to put my art in the show. I didn't get in, but I got in this school year. So it was in an art show and people got to see it here on campus, and it's published. Just things like my platforms that I have, because I have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and they're all like over 10K. And it's like, gosh, like I'm overlooking little things like that. Like I was able to build a platform and build a brand and connect with thousands of people, but I'm overlooking that because I'm always so in my head. And I'm like, I deal with this, like I have this chronic illness, and it's definitely valid to feel some type of way about that. But I feel like I've been suffering in my head for too long, so I'm literally going to force myself out of suffering the best way I can this summer and take a lot of the free time that I have now that we're not in school to really reframe my thoughts. And therapy has helped like a lot with that. Like shout out to my therapist for real, because she showed me some stuff about like CBT, you know, like reframing your thoughts and trying not to be like so negative Nancy, because I feel like we're all dealt a certain card in life, and I'm not gonna lie, my cards are pretty all over the place. Like I could write a whole action-packed movie about my life. You're gonna be like, what is going on? Like, what's going on? But I'm trying to reframe my thoughts so I can know that I'm not in those certain type of circumstances anymore. It's basically like just the leftovers in my head that I'm dealing with, because I'm not that far out of my teen years. Like I'm only 22 years old. I wasn't 18 that long ago. And some things still happen in my 20s that kind of make me have a negative mindset. But I'm trying to learn how to not beat myself up in my head so much for things I cannot control. Like sometimes I think about last summer a lot, and I made a video on like the whole endometriosis thing and all that, blah 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 blah, and sometimes I will blame myself for that and make myself feel weird for like that, like things that I cannot control. Like I was feeling bad about myself because it's a huge possibility that I won't ever be able to have like kids of my own. And I'm not like worried about having kids or anything right now. It's just that along with my other chronic illness makes me feel so weird and odd. And I'm not really comfortable talking about my other one yet, because I'm still trying to like tell myself that, hey, it's not your fault. Like you're not doing this. You tried everything you could. Like it's not you. So maybe in the future, I've seen some people make videos about it, and honestly, they're so brave. But I'm just working on reframing my thoughts. But when it comes to anxiety, I feel like sometimes anxiety causes you to play God. And I feel like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm trying so hard to control all the outcomes of everything and make it exactly how I want it to be. But I'm learning from like the book, therapy, and the YouTube video I was watching, that when you don't trust God, like you're not trusting yourself. And just to make it clear, I'm not one of those like hardcore like religious people. I'm more so like spiritual. Like I don't really identify with a certain religion, but I still have certain spiritual practices. Like I talk to God every day, pray every day, all of that stuff, read the scripture, read the Bible, because the Bible honestly does have some gems in it. Like whenever I'm in a negative mindset and I'm trying to get out of it, sometimes I'll just Google like Bible verses for so and so, or Bible verses for chronic illnesses, Bible verses for anxiety. But it's like I'm learning to just, what do they say, let go and let God. Like I've heard that in so many like humorous aspects and stuff before, but sometimes I'm learning that you really just gotta let go and let God, especially if you do your best. And I'm honestly talking to myself. Like I'm talking to myself, like it is a lot easier said than done, and I'm trying so hard. Like that's one of my main goals for this summer. So if you also believe in God and you're like me, you're always in your head and worry about the outcomes, even though like I never lack work behind my faith. Like I always have faith in a crap ton of work. Like I know they always say like faith without work is dead, but like I try to control every aspect, like the work and God's side. But no, I'm really going to just start letting go and letting God do it. Especially if I do my best, I'm going to give God the rest, like from now on, because the stress is so bad from just trying to control everything. Because I think about everything every day, because with OCD you can kind of get into like repetitive thought patterns, and it's honestly very hard to get out of. And I'm doing my best, like just me being open and transparent about this right now is me doing my best to try and to get out of it. So I want to practice more things like making a gratitude journal and reframing my thoughts when I'm upset, and trying not to play God so much and worrying about the outcomes when literally all things, like we're not in control of anything. Like anxiety is for me personally is me trying to be like a control freak. Like I'm trying to control the outcome of everything because I'm scared of like letting go and admitting that like I have no control over this life. And all I can do is just do my best and trust God with the rest. And I was reading some of God's promises this morning because honestly, I was so distressed because of my chronic illness, and I was like, God promises to make everything, I got makeup on my robe, but makeup girlies know the struggle. But God promises to work everything out in our life, and everything does end up working out some way, somehow. And sometimes in those anxiety moments, I just forget about that. And it's also due to depression too. So like for depression, I just want to force myself to just get outside and feel the sun so much more on my skin, and not be so trapped in my head and scared to do things. And another thing that was said in her YouTube video is like, think about all the things you would do if you trusted yourself and you trusted God. Like you trusted God with the outcomes, even if it doesn't work out how you think it will, it's something will always work out. So like, what are things that you would do if you just trusted God with the outcome? And I was like, dang, I would do so much more, not second guess myself. Like sometimes putting out content is so hard because I'll get in my head when I'm about to upload and be like, oh, who do people think she is? Or this is a dumb idea, this is a dumb topic, why am I doing this? And sometimes I might just delete it. Sometimes I might just be like, hey, like why not, like YOLO. So I'm trying to live in that mindset, because for 22 years, and I'm 22 years old, I have lived in my head. And that's definitely due to a lot of like life circumstances, you know, of growing up like in an abusive household and stuff. So that's kind of like the coping mechanisms that you use, like especially if you grow up with like an unstable parent. You're always worried about how are they going to act about this, how are they going to act about that, like what's happening next. So since that's been the majority of my life right now, I'm trying to reframe it because I really don't want to like go into real adulthood. Oh, I got this palette from like TJ Maxx or something, but I'm going to try to give a look today, maybe like a gold look. But what was I saying? Yeah, you're always worried about the outcome of something, how something's going to be, but it just causes me not to live in the moment. And then like for others, I'm like, wow, like how are they just living in the moment? Like they have no worries. Like I truly envy people like that, because it might come easy for some people, but that's not always easy to just like live completely in the moment. I want to be like those people. And I tend to think that like everything has to be perfect and all put together so I can have like a good time. But I don't want to think like that more either. Like, because life is so unpredictable. Like, I just want to have a good time while we're all here. Really. Because I will always think about like, oh, what if something happens and then you spent your whole life worrying about the future and you're never in the present? because sometimes I would be doing things, but like I'm not like really there. And yeah, I just want to live more in the present, especially this summer, like the last summer in between my college school years, because I graduate in December. So after that, it's like real deal adulting life and stuff. But I'll be excited for that, because I'll finally be a teacher and like on my own and stuff, and just ready to like build a new life. But I really want to go into that, and just even next semester, like just willing to do more, take more chances. I feel like I've already have, like I'm pushing myself to, but I just want to continue to do that a lot more and not let my anxiety make me play God in my head and always try to control the outcome and then be upset if it doesn't look exactly how I want it to. And that comes like with my chronic illnesses, like procedures and stuff not working out, and I'm still dealing with it. Like I'm just trying to see the better side of it and trying to stop like blaming myself for it. But I'm done with that little rant because this video is so long. This is probably one of my longest videos, but I will come back to give you guys the final look. Okay, so this is a finished look. I finished my makeup, and I'm pretty much just gonna wear my hair in a blown out state. And this is the outfit: a top and a long skirt. And I couldn't even find the earrings that I really wanted to wear, but I feel like these will do a good job with it. And I got my nails done a few days ago. I got some short, cute green nails, and this is a ring I got at this like little festival thing that we usually go to. But yeah, thanks for listening to me talking about how, well, for me, I'm not saying anxiety is always like that for other people, but how me being anxious is like me playing God, because I'm trying to control the outcome of everything where really we have control over nothing. So thank you so much for watching if you got this far to see my final look, and I hope some of this might have resonated with you and you can come along on my therapy journey, because I went last year but then I stopped, and then I just started up like maybe 3 months ago, I think like at the end of February or the beginning of March. But yeah, just join me on this journey and I'll just share what I learned. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye.